Hey good people, today we're taking a look at the Clarke Creek Wind Farm over in the sunny state of Queensland. It caught my eye a few weeks ago over on Twitter as the green energy plan will apparently destroy eucalyptus forests and kill koalas, and not for their precious fur. Sounded like a weird claim that contradicted everything I know about the intent of green energy, so I thought I'd spend 2 hours reading the plan. But it was either that or watch the new Marvels movie, so it was actually a pretty easy choice. It was signed off by Ning Chen of Goldwind, so direct your hate mail to him along with the Labor government of Queensland. It's costing $1.5 billion. It's going to be situated over here on this red patch. Oh, wait. No, sorry, it's going to be over on this green patch about 2 hours away from Rockhampton. You see, all these red dots on this map are going to be wind turbines. There was going to be 234 of them, but they had to scrap 7 for ecological reasons. Only 7, that's pretty good. There mustn't be much wildlife living in this area, except for these vulnerable creatures living in these areas mapped out on these maps. Honestly, you think your government is there to protect the national forests, flora and fauna for future generations to enjoy, but instead, this looks like a sacrifice of the environment to the climate gods. And the only people who will benefit from this are the politicians who will preach about it from their soapbox at the next election. Now, a quick Google of this wind farm shows that it is meant to offset some 40 million tonnes of CO2 every year. Now, I don't know if that's a lot or a little, and I haven't fact checked it, but how much carbon was being stored in that forest before they tear it all down? Well, the koala habitat being destroyed is some 1,513 hectares. So even on the high estimate, it was only about 1.3 million tons of CO2 being stored in that forest. Damn, man, these wind farms are amazing. We should replace all our forests with these things. We'll be carbon neutral in no time. Pity that the nearly extinct koalas and other vulnerable species that live in this area will have to die, but it's for the climate. You can't live on a dead planet. Now, don't go thinking that I hate the climate just because of my facetious tone. I love breathing air, but this wind farm is a contradiction of everything that I've been taught about renewable energy. It says here that the project will only last for 30 years and then all the turbines will have to be decommissioned and removed. I thought renewable energy lasted forever. I thought it was a one-time investment for an indefinite energy generator that had high upfront costs and a slow return. But with a near endless lifespan and minimal maintenance, you made your investment back over time, and everything after that was just gravy on top. Turns out that is not the case. Someone has been misinformationing me for years now. And what happens in 2050 when the Clarke Creek Wind Farm shuts down? The cables can be left in the ground, unless it's economically attractive to recover them. The turbines will be removed, and any other infrastructure dismantled. Where do the blades go? Well, according to this article in Energy Magazine, the blades are 94% recyclable. But according to this article in Bloomberg Magazine, turbine blades can't be recycled and they are piling up. And now I honestly don't know who to believe, so you'll have to make up your own mind and then hopefully inform me. But the craziest thing in this government environmental plan is the part about killing koalas. You heard that right. I read this whole thing to find this, and on page 74, under euthanasia, it says euthanasia will be conducted using blunt force trauma in accordance with the animal care guidelines. Blunt force trauma is mainly recommended to humanely kill reptiles, amphibians, and small to medium sized mammals, but can be used on larger mammals. This is a hard, sharp blow to the base of the back of the skull with a blunt metal or heavy wooden bar. But principle, I hear you say. Surely they don't mean koalas. An animal that is so loved the world over, it's a national icon and considered an umbrella species. A species which is so cute and marketable that even though it's kinda useless, we use its social status to protect habitat for it with the secret intention of protecting habitat for less, uh, attractive but arguably more important creatures that live in the same biomes. Yes, dreaming citizen, I mean the koala bear. Under threatened fauna species, page 77, koalas are a medium-sized marsupial. And under impacts 4.1.2, impacts expected to fauna include loss of habitat, injury and mortality to fauna during clearing, and fauna collisions with construction vehicles. I shudder to think of the poor tradie who is driving along, fiddling with the radio, trying to tune into the latest banger by T-Swizzle, and boom, runs over a walking teddy bear high on eucalyptus oil, then has to call in a fauna spotter to come and bop it on the back of their head to put it out of its misery. I hope that $1.5 billion budget includes therapy provisions. The Clarke Creek Wind Farm project serves as an excellent example of the climate crazies. Just like the Just Stop Oil protests make no sense when they block the highway for 15 kilometers, forcing a bunch of diesel chugging trucks and cars to sit idle to wait for these wankers to get thirsty for an orange mocha frappuccino. The idea that we will save the planet from the climate by cutting down trees to put up windmills is so antithetical to its own intentions that the only genius that could come up with this plan is either a climate zealot, a climate change grifter, or a politician. I can comfortably admit that I don't know anything about the climate, and I'm happy to be educated. There is just too much information out there, and I don't know what to believe. I'm skeptical of the intentions of both arguments. But one thing I know for sure is that koalas are functionally extinct, and this is going to remove a huge patch of their remaining habitat. If this was a coal mine, greenies would be holding up pictures of dead koalas and chaining themselves to bulldozers. But because this is a wind farm, climate change activists don't know what to do. They can't protest a wind farm, but they can't support the destruction of habitat and euthanasia of koalas. It's a conundrum for them. But it goes to show there are no solutions, only trade offs. So when a politician promises you that they are going to solve this problem and invest in green energy, be careful of what you wish for, because the devil is in the detail, and politicians will always leave out the detail. I, for one, blame the environmental minister for not doing what you would expect an environmental minister was meant to do: protect the environment. They are meant to put a check on big corporations destroying wildlife habitat, but instead they greenlit this project for political reasons. Stage 1 is already underway, but if you want to ask questions or see Stage 2 and 3 altered or amended, email the Environmental Minister, the Queensland State Premier, or go straight to the source and email directly to Squadron Energy, who run the Clarke Creek Wind Farm project. If I've brought value to you, then let me know by hitting the thumbs up. It tells me that this is the kind of information that you want to know more about. Please share this video so that more people can simply be aware of what is going to happen to one of our national icons, all in the name of climate change. And then they can take this into consideration at the next election. Every politician is going to claim that they care about the environment, but who proves it with their actions? You were born free.